Hey guys, Steve here at Web2ink. Let's talk about pricing your paper type products like business cards, postcards, posters, brochures, all that stuff. So let's take a look here at the front end. We'll kind of start here. This is one of our sample websites, so I'll kind of show you guys around some pricing features, and then we'll jump to the admin section and I'll show you how to control them. So we'll start with the most popular. Obviously, business cards are probably the most sold printed product ever. So let's go to the business card page. Okay, so this is a product page for business cards. This is pretty basic. I'm just going to click on Get a Price. Right here, so this is where you're going to get your pricing for your business cards. So we'll run through this right quick and then I'll show you how to control this. With business cards and with most paper printed products, you're not going to be buying in individual quantities. You're going to be purchasing in predetermined quantities. So this business card we're selling in sets of 500, 1,000, and 2,500. You can, of course, have as many quantity breaks as you want. Right here, we've got some pricing for some different size cards. We'll keep this at standard. And then right here, we have some of the variables for this product. So you would choose your paper stock, whether or not you want rounded corners, and whether or not you're going to have a single side, or this should be a double side, or this should actually say both sides, but we'll go over that and we'll fix that, and we'll show you how all this stuff works. So just to show you, let's say we're getting 1,000 cards. They're this size, 4 cents for card for a total of $42. Let's say we want to do rounded corners. That's going to bump the price up. Let's say we did do both sides. That would bump the price up again, which this is, not only is this labeled wrong, but this is set up wrong. So we'll take a look on the back end. I'll show you how to fix that and how to set all these options. Okay, let's jump over to the admin. All right, so we're on the back end admin of the website that we were just on. So let's take a look at how to control those prices. We're going to go down to products. We will select from our category and we'll choose business cards. Whoop, hit filter. Okay, business cards. We'll click on edit. And so right here you can see this is the product page, and I'm going to give you a quick explanation of how this stuff works. So right here, these are the design settings. You're always going to want to have allow for design online checked and express design. Allow for design online is going to let your customers use the online design tool to create their products. The express design is like a streamlined version of the design tool. That's designed for people who have print-ready files. They just want to upload them and be done with it. All over printing, this is for any products that are going to have full bleeds. So for business cards, you would leave this checked. And then these two options here don't really apply to the pricing, so we'll just skip over those for now. Down here, this is where you're going to choose your print process. For this particular product, I have product price only selected, and what that means is that I'm going to control all of this product pricing right on this page. I'm not going to assign a print process pricing to put on top of the base product pricing. You know, we're not selling little pieces of paper and then the printing is another aspect of the sale. We're just selling printed business cards. There's no, you're selling the completed product. You're not going to break it down into a paper cost and an ink cost. So I would leave this at product price only, but we're also going to check out how to control some other charges with the print processes. So we'll scroll down here. This is the product base price. So this price here is what you're going to enter for your basic or your lowest cost business card. So we've got quantity breaks here of 500, 1,000, and 2,500. The important thing on this page is to make sure that you have these two boxes checked correctly. So apply price value for, you're going to choose price for all quantity. If you choose price for each, then you're going to be, if someone gets 500 business cards, they're going to be $28 each. And then right here, select a price method. You're going to put fixed quantity. So stacked price and smooth change, those are two other ways of pricing things. That applies to products that are priced on an individual basis, like t-shirts or polo shirts or banners or yard signs. So we'll leave this at fixed quantity. And then let's take a look right here at size upcharges. If you're going to create a business card product and you have different size variables, this is where you're going to control the pricing from your standard size card to your oversized card and to your small little card. With these types of products, I would suggest not trying to make one product that's going to be all-encompassing. So if you're offering business cards in several different sizes or several different paper stocks or several different shapes, if you're doing like teardrop or circular business cards, you might want to break those out into separate products. So for example, this could, if we wanted to, we could make 3 separate products here: standard size, oversize, and mini. But that's totally up to you. From a usability standpoint for the users and the people shopping on your site, it could be a little bit confusing if you try to pack everything into one product. So that's how you're going to control pricing for different size variations. Color up charges, that's more so for apparel. So let's talk about your variables for your paper printing. With paper printing, there's so many variables and they compound together. You could have a business card with 500 possible variables. So right here in the product add-on section, this is where we're going to add our variables. And the way it's done is in a 1, 2, 3 type of scenario. So you're going to create your product variation. We call them add-ons. You're going to create your add-on here. You're going to add your variables here. And you're going to add any pricing information here. So let's go through one and we'll take a look at it. So right now I've got paper stock selected. You can see the 3 different options here: 14 point, 18 point, and tri-layer textured paper. So if we click on the 14 point tag, you see that there's no pricing information here. The 14 point tag is like our base material. This is what we're starting with. This is what these prices here are already configured for. So if I go to 18 point tag, you're going to see the price increase. So if you're ordering 500 of these cards, if you want 18 point tag versus 14 point tag, you can expect to pay $15 more. And that's per 500 cards. It's not per card, obviously. And then the same thing goes here, and you can see the prices are breaking. 500 is 15, 1,000 is 20 instead of actually doubling. So this is where you can assign price breaks for your variables that scale with the quantity. We'll just take a look at tri-layered texture. And you can see these are the real nice like sandwich cards. So this is a pretty significant price bump from the 14-point tag. And then you're going to have other options like rounded corners, which are going to be your basic yes and no type selection. You know, you either want them or you don't. So for no, there's no changes. That's what's already included in this base price over here. If you were to select yes, you'll see the additional prices. Now these are just the prices for rounding the corners. So these are add-on prices in addition to your base price for your basic card. So let's go ahead and add a variable. Okay, so let's say that we want to add a variable here and we want it to be an option for the customer to request an additional high resolution proof. So I've added the variation right here. I'm going to name it and we'll just call it additional high res proof. Click the checkbox, that will confirm the name, and then we're going to add another option. So I'll click add new option right here. You typically want to add your default option first. So for something like this, we would have a default of no. Then we're going to add another option, and we're going to call it yes. We'll confirm the name, and then we'll say for this particular add-on, we're not going to offer quantity price breaks. It's just going to be a you want it or you don't. So that's going to, I'm just going to put in a quantity of 1 here. So this is going to affect any quantity now. So I'll put in my quantity of 1, and let's just say we want to charge $15 for the high-res proof. Now we can save the option prices. We will save all the changes we just made to the product. Now let's go back and take a look at it. Okay, so here we are. Let me refresh this page. And so now when I click on get a price, you can see our new option here. So let's say we want 2,500 business cards, standard size, with the tri-layer paper. We do want rounded corners. Each time I make a selection, you'll notice the price is adjusting down here automatically. So yes, I want rounded corners. I want to print it. Oh, we didn't fix that. Let's jump back there and fix that right quick. We'll go back to the admin. So that was under print sides. So right here you can see it's single side only. Right here you can see that funny text, the option title. I'm going to click on that, and we'll just change the name of this to both sides. Confirm that name change, update the product, refresh the page. All right, get a price. Okay, 2,500 cards, tri-layer with rounded corners, printed on both sides. Okay, that did change the price. Additional high-res proof, yes. So now you can see we have an actual price that makes sense. We're not paying $20,000 for a box of business cards. So that's just one thing to keep in mind is when you have a product that has a preset quantity like 500, 1,000, or 2,500, and you're doing product add-ons, you want to keep in mind to figure it out mathematically what the cost per piece is. Okay, another thing about these product add-ons. You might have a ton of products that have all of these same features, all these same type of add-ons. So let me show you how to prevent yourself from having to create them for every single product. Let's go to products. And we will just choose door hangers. although door hangers probably wouldn't have this same set of products. But right here, you can just start to type in the product that you've already added your add-ons to, and it will pop it up. For example, those add-ons for the business card I copied from postcards. So if I try to type in business card, it's not going to do anything because those add-ons originated on the postcard product. So I would start to type in postcards. It'll appear right there, and it brings up the two original product, or the two original add-ons from the postcard. So when we made the business cards, we added a couple of additional product add-ons. When I originally made the postcard, these were the two product add-ons. And so now we could go to any product, enter postcards here, and automatically add those add-ons to any product. This particular product, I don't want these, so I'll just get rid of those. And let's go back to all products. All right, let's talk about print process pricing. So that's a little bit different when it comes to paper printing. But if you have certain setup charges or certain fixed fees that you want to apply to certain orders of certain sizes, then you can control it through the print process pricing. So let's take a look at that. You know, if you're not one of those companies that tries to sell, 10 million business cards for $9.99, then, and you want to actually make a few bucks even on small business card orders, then you might want to have a setup charge or some sort of other charge that's built into your price. You don't want your customers to see that they're paying a setup charge, but you want that automatically built into the price. So what we did is we went to Web2ink and we clicked on print process. So on this page is where you make your print process pricing. So right here where it says create new process, if you hit this drop down, you'll see all of your existing print process prices. So on this sample site we have banner printing, screen print, product price only, which is what we used for the business cards that I just showed you, DTG printing, banners, which must be somehow different than this one, and sublimation. So let's say we want to add a new process. We would just keep this at create a new print process. And let's say we want to call this a digital process. So we'll just say digital, say you have an HP press. You could just say digital HP. If you want to put in a description of that print process, you can put it in here. And right here, if it's a full color process, then you would leave this at 0. 0 equals full color printing. So for now, we'll keep that at 0, but I'll come back to this and I'll show you how you can set it up for single color or 2 color, and how you can even restrict the actual colors used. So say, for example, if you get thermographically printed business cards, or if you print thermographic cards and you only offer them in 1 or 2 colors, I'll show you how to set that up. So we'll leave this at 0 for now. Right here, you can put in those same quantities. So I'll put in 500, I'll add a new row. Let's say 25, we'll go to 1,000, and then 2,500. So right here, this first section is for one-time charges. So flat design, this is going to be just a one-time charge that's spread out over your quantity. So if you have a quantity of 500 and you put in, you put 10 in here, you'll be paying 2 cents. No, that can't be right. Yeah, that would add 2 cents to the price of each card. So your customer is only going to see the per piece and the total price. Then say you want to make the price lower here, you can. If you want to have it free at a certain quantity, you can. If you leave this at 0, this 10 is going to transfer over to both of these. That works for the top row. So if I made this 10, then you'd have 10, 10, and this would be 0. But if you leave something in the top row, it will carry down. This next column is going to be per designed side. So say you want to charge $10 per side, you would zero that out and just put this at 10. And then the same thing happens here. Say if you're doing, screen printed cards or thermographically printed cards and you charge per color, you could put a color setup price here. This next section, these are the per piece prices. So not a lot of people use this section for paper printing like brochures, business cards. They might use them for a lower quantity or a lower volume type of product like 24 by 36 posters where somebody might want to order, a dozen of them instead of 500. And then these last 2 columns, team order and additional side discount, this is more so for apparel personalization, and this is more so for large format printing. Say if you're doing like a rigid board type printing on Coroplast or Gator foam, this would be the discount for printing on the second side. So that's how you would control your print process pricing. Again, it's not super popular with paper printing because you can basically control everything on the product level, but it definitely applies for certain types of prints, and if you want to have predetermined art charges or design or setup charges. So I'll just click submit and we'll save this. Now let's add a new one, and we'll call it thermography. Okay, maybe it's right, maybe it's wrong. So in here you can put a description again, and let's say that with thermography you only do single color printing. So we'll just put that to 1, and let's say that you only want to allow your customers to choose from a few basic colors. Right down here is where you would do that. So let's say you want to offer it in black. You would name it black, select that color, and click add ink color. Let's say you want to have one in red. We can go here, choose red. Let's say you're doing reflex. You can go here, choose something that looks like reflex. There we go. And so on and so forth. We'll just add green right click. Green, that looks a little too light, so I'm just going to choose more of a standard Kelly type green. Not so much a lime green. Okay, add ink color. So now we have a print process where your customer can only get a 1 color print and they can only select from these ink colors. Let me put in a quantity here. Let's do 5. We'll just do the same exact thing. 500, 1,000, and 2,500. I'll submit that. So now that print process is saved. Let's jump back to the product page. I'm going to make a few changes and we'll take a look at it on the front end. So let's go to business cards again. Okay. Okay, so let's say I want to change this to a thermography card. I'm going to deselect product price only, and I'm going to select thermography. I'm going to click update product. So typically with a big change like this, you would have to adjust your add-ons and your base pricing, but just for the sake of time, we're going to I'm just changing these from offset, full color offset or digital to thermography. Update that, just make sure I got it right. We'll go here and refresh this page. So now if I click on get a price, everything looks the same. Let's say we want 2500, 18 point. We still want rounded corners. We want it printed on both sides. And we don't want a high-res proof. So now, right here, because this is set at thermography, you're going to have to choose the number of colors. The only option is 1. It cannot be changed. And then it will, of course, return the price as normal. So let me show you how this is going to affect the product in the design tool. Because getting a price for something is one thing, but letting your customer actually build out the product in a way that you can print it and it's not going to cause any issues, that's really crucial. So we'll keep it at the standard size card. Right here you can see we've got the business card product. The white part is the actual card. The red dotted line is the bleed zone, and the green dotted line is the safe zone. It looks like they're set a little bit wide, but when you create a new product from scratch, you're able to adjust the safe and the bleed zones. But that's a topic for another video. So let's go ahead and design this card. I want to add some text. And I just typed in my name. I can choose the font. But you'll see from right here, I'm just going to keep the same font. You'll see from right here where it says color. I'm only allowed to select from those 4 colors that I just created. So say we want to do this in blue. I can click add text. This of course can be moved around and adjusted as your customer sees fit. And from here you can also upload images. Let's see here. Browse for file. Sure. Let me upload my logo. So right here, this is, if I had uploaded a JPEG, this would let me remove the background. This happens to be a PNG file, so we can skip that. Right here, this is where you can add some effects, and you can also add a color overlay. With the color overlay, now we can only choose from the selected colors. So this I would have to make blue because we're only able to print one color. Then right here, this is where your customer can upload their image and they can decide if they want it to be a background, which would be the full bleed portion of the card, or if they want it to be a layer. Right now we're designing a thermographic business card, so thermography cards typically don't come with a full bleed. You might have a colored paper stock, but you're not going to have that raised print all the way bleeding off the edge. So I'm going to add this as an image to the layer. And one thing you might notice, if I increase the size of this, you're going to see the quality of the uploaded file is adjusted. So if I make this real small, thus increasing the DPI, that's going to change. That's kind of a cool feature. If you have customers who upload terrible files, then this will catch it. So say if this really is a thermographic business card, I'm back on the admin of this particular product. If we were really making a thermographic business card, we would come in here and unselect all over printing. That will prevent anybody from adding a full bleed background. So you can see here that if you set it up for certain types of prints, it's going to restrict your customers from designing something outside of your capabilities. So say, for example, we wanted to add some clip art. Right here, this is where you can change the colors. Again, you're only going to choose the selected colors that are possible. Let's find a piece of clip art. Oh, right here. It's only showing us single colored clip art. So that solves that issue right there. Say we wanted to add some tire tracks, we can only choose from the colors that are selectable. So let's go back to the admin right quick and we'll just go over this really quickly. Typically, business cards and paper products, you're going to control the pricing directly from the product page right here. But if you have a scenario like thermographic business cards, or you need to restrict the amount of colors, or you only have certain colors of ink available for a certain print process, then you're going to want to go to the print process, and that is in Web2ink, print process, and right here is where you can control all of that. This is the print process that we just made. These are the only colors that are available to be ordered with that print process. So that's an overview of how you can control your pricing on your paper products. As always, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, have a great day. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.